Hey ladies, this is Linda, Faith Chick 777, and I'm coming at you today sharing with you an album swap that I've been participating in. Some time ago, a few months ago around July, I had a lovely woman come to me through YouTube, of course, and she asked if I would swap an album with her. And, I thought about it for quite a while because I had too many things I was doing at once, as we all do, and but I still kept in contact with her, letting her know I was thinking about it. And then I decided, why not? So um we started this album swap. She has been so patient with me because we finally started this thing, I think, in August, and it is now the end of October almost, and I'm just getting this done. But she's just been great through it all. Her YouTube name is Maggie660. I'll put her link down below so that you can check out her stuff. Now, as we kind of messaged back and forth, of course, we, did a few little things about each other that we wanted to let each other know, I guess is what I should say. My words aren't coming out right. Letting her know, kind of what I liked, the colors I liked, that kind of thing, because you want to produce an album for somebody that, something that they're going to like, obviously. So I found out from Maggie that she loved, colors browns and creams. Not hard for me because almost everything I scrapbook's got brown in it somewhere. I love brown. I'm drawn to brown. Not hard to do. So browns and creams she loved. She said she was fun, always kind of, happy. She loved a little bit of the romantic side. Well, you all know me. I'm a sappy sap romantic at heart, so that's not hard. So I've got browns and creams and a little bit of romance. So, and then I, of course, wanted to throw a little bit of me in there, and I love anything to do with time. I love clocks. I have 3 clocks in my scrapbook room alone. My living room has like 5 clocks. I'm like a clockaholic. So I wanted to put, in there in the album somewhere clocks, of course. So, it was a little bit of me. And, I got to going so well on this album, I didn't stop. I ended up making a keepsake box for it because it was just coming together so well. And of course, I made a card. Now, ladies, I pulled out my sewing machine on this. I dusted it off and I sewed everything I could sew, including chipboard letters. The sewing machine went through it all. So everything you're going to see, everything is all hand sewn. So I don't know if I'm going to make this all in one video or not. It may have to be 2, but so let's get started. Let me move my sign out of the way and let's start with the album. Now, since she liked browns and creams, and she liked a little bit of stuff to do with romance, I also noticed from her stuff she liked kind of vintagey stuff. And she was very eclectic in her work. She loved to dabble in all kinds of things. And then I asked her, as we were talking back and forth, she also mention that she doesn't really display her photos. So the album doesn't really have room to display photos in it unless she wanted to tuck a photo in a pocket or something like that. So there's not really any open space area to put a photo on top of each little page. So like I said, if she just wanted to tuck one in a pocket. So let me bring the album out. And here it is. This is the album I've made for Maggie. It's entitled Love As You Can See. I made it very vintagey, very romantic. Let me bring it up a little bit for you. I used lace. I used old doilies. I used I Am Rose's flowers. Now, the color you see, ladies, I shimmer misted all the chipboard and in the background pages and everything. The color that you see, what I did is I found this at, I think it was Joann's. It is this metallic paint here. And it was like $6.99. It's called Rich Espresso. And all I did was just mix, in a little spray bottle, one of those little 2-ounce spray bottles, about 1/4 of it paint and the rest of the way up with water. So this is kind of, it's like a golden brown chocolatey. So this is kind of the base for any kind of shimmer that you see on my letters. So this album is kind of thick, ladies. So I had to bind it with ribbon. As you can see from the back how thick it is, my 2-inch rings wouldn't even keep it closed. So it's all bound with ribbon, which actually I kind of like because it lends to the romanticism of the album. Okay, the first thing I did, you can't see it, it's hidden, but by golly, I wanted to put one on there, is a charm assembly. It gets lost in it, but I've been wanting to put one on the album. I love seeing all you gals put these great big gems on the bottom of them. So I made a little charm assembly. I looped it at first, you know, those clasps on bracelets that has this loop and then it's got that straight bar and you tuck it through the loop and it keeps it closed. So I just used this end of it, the loop part, and then I put anything to kind of do, you know, with the album, wings, keys, a little heart, a fleur-de-lis, and then from that assembly, I did like a little lobster clasp. Get it up here. And hung this from it and then looped a little rose from that chain. So there's my little sort of hidden charm assembly on the end. But then when you go this way, it's gone. You don't see it. But by golly, I was going to get it on there. Now, all my flowers I put on there, most all of them are I Am Roses or the Prima flowers. And they all, that video I did where I put crackle accents or glossy accents on it, they all have that on there. So everything is all glossy accent. It's really hard. Even these little roses I found at a garage sale, they're like little flower fabric roses. I crackle accent those. Let me bring it up close so you can see them. You can kind of see the shimmer on them a little bit. I use wide eyelets on all the pages. So this first page, the L, let me bring it up this way. All I did is I sewed the lace on it. And then it's got like these little cute little wedding sprays on there. And then I hand curled all my little curly cues here. I made this because it was a bouquet, so I tied a little ribbon. Then I added an I Am Roses. And then I came down with the little butterflies. And then these are those little clay, I think these are the Recollections flowers, actually, these little clay ones. And then I looped a little charm on it. I just put a little charm through the loop, and then I glued the little O-ring that the charm's hanging on between the two Recollections flowers. So it still dangles, but it's there. And then, of course, like I said, ladies, I got my sewing machine out, so I sewed all the papers, all hand sewn. You can see every bit of it. And then I distressed all the edges. And then so my chipboard letter done with that paint, and I just did like a little edge stamp on it, and then I did a zigzag stitch down the letter. So you could see that. And then I inked all the edges. So you can really kind of see that gold bronzy shimmer. But I love all the pages. Now this paper I used, forgot to tell you, let me set the album down. The paper I used is this Recollections paper, the love letters. That's the paper I used through the entire album. So that's what you're going to see through there. Okay, so now on to the, and now we're already at 8 minutes, so I know this is going to be a two-part video, lady. So on to the back of the first page. All I did is when I sewed around it, I made peekaboos on some of the pages where I tore it and it made like a little slit in it and sewed it down and then made a little peekaboo. And this is a little piece of doily right here, little crochet doily. So I peekabooed it, added this lovely brown chocolate trim, and then these little wedding sprays. And now this is funny, ladies. See this flower, how it kind of looks like a pressed, smushed flower? The first two pages, I had the flowers on it like this, and I could not get it to close, ladies. The two pages stood straight up like that, and I'm like, okay, that's not going to work. So I'm like, what can I do? And I'm like, well, what if it looked like it was smushed? Like this had been, you know, like when you're at prom and you get your corsage and you smush it between your album and it's 10 years later, you know, and you got a real smushed, crackled flower. So that's what I did on these first two pages to make it lay flat. You can kind of see it. See, I smushed it. See how flat it is? And then I add crackle accents, so it looks like it was literally pressed between the pages. And then some more little Recollections or Prima flowers, I'm not sure which, butterfly, and then the little bow bunny clock charm. So here's where the clock starts coming into play, because I told you I wanted to something, you know, that was a little bit about me. I wanted to put the emphasis of time through the album. So then on to the next page, the O. So I did an old doily. All my doilies I found at garage sales this last summer. I'm sure I've said that. Anyway, and I sewed the doily onto the page. Remember, all my papers hand sewn, hand stitched. My O, I did the pocket first, I got everything on, and then I stitched my O. I stamped it with a little stamped script, stitched it, and then glued the O just kind of slightly off the edge of the page. Now, a little trick I wanted to show you ladies, because all the pages where I put like made a doily or a lace as a pocket, well, you could see how I glued right on top of that. Had I not done this next thing I'm going to tell you, there wouldn't have been a pocket, because if you would have glued on top the lace, obviously it would have glued the pockets shut. So what I did behind each pocket, I got all the pockets sewn on, and then what I did is I took transparency film that you run through an inkjet printer. So this transparency film, which is, I took a piece out, really thin, obviously plastic, for those of you who might not know, really thin plastic, and I just cut it to exactly fit the doily or the lace on the inside of this pocket, and then I slid it inside the pocket and I glued it to the lace. So I doubt you're going to be able to see it, but you can hear it. See? It's got that stiff transparency on the back so that I have something to glue to and still have a pocket. So this page, it's just got, you know, little crinkly ribbon and this little leaf vine trim I love. I got some at the scrapbook convention, and I went on eBay, and I've gotten like this color green and a little bit darker green and a brown, and it's so cheap. I got like 10 yards for $5, you know, so loving this. This is like on everything. And then all the pages kind of have the same base, some kind of ribbon and little butterflies. And then these teeny tiny little I am roses. And like I said, they are all crackled or glossy accented. Another little rose here, and then a little key hanging from it. And then on the bottom of this page, I've hung, sorry, need to get back in frame. In between the pages, I hung this real pretty gem trim at the bottom. And then each of my pages, you'll be able to better see my sewing. Almost all my pockets have some kind of clear pocket in it, and what I did is I edged it all in stickles so it kind of stands out. So, and this was just a Tim Holtz sticker I put on the front of that one. Edged it, okay. And then the recollections paper has a couple pages in there that's nothing but tags, and I cut the tags apart. So see here, you can kind of see how where everything I sewed, distressed the edges and inked it. So they all have these little, because they look like little love letters and stuff like that. So, and then I just tuck it right back in between in here. And this one, and on to the next page. I think I may be able to get a couple more pages done. This page, this is the back of the O. Again, I used a old crochet doily. You can see here. Remember, smushed my I Am Roses flowers. You can see from the side, they're all smushed, but I kind of love how they look. Look at that, how they're all like crackled and smushed. See that? Looks kind of cool. I stuck some little roses in here, my little curly cues here. Up to some butterflies I got here. It's like this butterfly spray I got from Saw Crafters, her store. Put that on there. And then this, again, is a pocket. So I stamped one of those acrylic sheets. This is, there you go. It's just like music, sheet music. And then this one is a tag from the paper collection. What I did is kind of rolled the edge and then sewed it down. So there's a couple of tags here that'll slide in the pockets. So see, if Maggie wanted to do pictures, she could slide them in. But like I said, there's no real room for them. But she says she doesn't really display pictures. But anyway, and then on to the next page. This is the V. Okay, again, I did a really thick lace trim as my pocket. Backed it with transparency. And then I made my own little crochet flower. And then I have a little stick pin stuck in behind here with some gems on it. And then I glued a little recollections flower to it and a little sparkly and then a butterfly. And then this is just a wood center that I double stamped on and then did the crackle accents. Then I ran the leaf vine up through the top and then did, you know, some butterflies, a little bit of the wedding spray in here and another flower. And then I added a little Tim Holtz dream. I don't know if you can see it. It's not all the way flat. I kind of bent it. Okay. All right, ladies, I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to go on to part 2 of this video. Be back in a minute.